Welcome back at the forefront. He is a seasoned litigation lawyer and educator, an advocate for PWD rights and clean governance. In 2019, he was labeled by the COMELEC as a nuisance candidate for failing to present the financial capacity to conduct a nationwide campaign. He remains undeterred, waging an independent campaign bid for the Senate. What keeps Attorney Angelo De Alban going despite setbacks in politics? With us this morning is independent senatorial aspirant Attorney Angelo De Alban. Good morning, Attorney De Alban.
Good morning, Attorney Karen, sa lahat ng mga nanonood at nakikinig sa iyong programa.
Thank you for being here today. So, we'll start off by, since ikaw sanay ka na ikaw ang professor, this time, ikaw naman ang ipapa-exam namin. So, I'll be asking you questions and you'll have 30 seconds to answer. First, if you come from a family of lawyers and teachers, in 30 seconds, describe how it was growing up in a family of professionals. Timer starts now.
Magulo, but sabi nga namin lagi, after confusion, there is enlightenment. Kasi sanay kami na nagdedebate. Yung mga kapitbahay namin, they used to hear us na tumisigaw, but sa totoo lang nagdedebate kami. Because in our family, we were raised to raise our voice kapag may problema, may kailangan i-discuss. So, hindi kami yung nagtatago and then nagbabattle up. No, we discuss things democratically, freely, and then that's it.
That's good training. Yes. And do you do that with your kids right now?
Yes, I encourage them to tell me what's wrong. I encourage them to tell me what happened. Kasi yun yung, in a way, transparency na rin eh. Ano nangyari sa araw mo, ganito. O bakit mababa yung nakuha mo, kasi ganito, okay, I understand. So in our family, lalo na yung father ko and my mother, they encourage us to talk, to really talk.
Wala sa pamilya nyo ang mga nagpolitika dati. Bakit mo naisipang pumasok sa politika?
Yung grandfather ko was mayor, but that was in the 1950s pa. Hindi ko na siya naabutan na nag-mayor, obviously. And medyo matanda na rin siya nung na-meet ko. He died in the 80s. No? Yeah. And then yung father ko, hindi rin. Mga uncles ko, wala naman nakaupo sa kanila.
So nag-mayor yung grandfather mo back in the 50s. Saang lugar?
Sa Tumawini, Isabela. Back at the time na ang sinasabi nilang honorable ay talagang honorable. Yun yung laging sinasabi ng lola ko sa akin eh. Nag-mayor ang lolo mo nung panahon, ang mga honorable ay honorable pa. Ngayon kasi dime a dozen na yung mga tinatawag nating politiko. So, tumatak sa isip ko yun eh.
So, and yet you still wanted to go into politics now. Ano yung reaction ng parents mo?
Nagulat sila, but in a way, parang ine-expect nila yun. Kasi yung advocacy namin, 2008 pa yun eh. So, can you imagine how many years, almost 18 years, nag-bottle up because of our advocacy sa mga children with disability, no, and persons with disability. So, in a way, nakita na rin nila yun. But ang pinakaunang tanong nila is, paano yung wife mo and yung magiging kids mo, how would they react to it? And so, they should understand that there should be a person who would stand in the Senate. Kasi 2025 na, wala pa tayong committee sa Senado on children with special needs and persons with disability. Ganun tayo ka-backward. Ang daming data about us. At yan yung registered. Wala pa yung may mga diagnosis, wala pa yung may mga assessment. Pero walang tugon ang Senado sa atin.
So you think this is an underserved sector. But why didn't you just choose to do party list?
Party list is not enough. Because you need to have a nationwide and at the same time, hindi lang kasi pang-party list yung trabaho na ginagawa ng Senado. Of course, you know this, no? Sa present society natin ngayon, andyan yung impeachment, andyan yung ICC. So bilang member of Senado, kailangan mong meron kang alam sa international law kasi you will ratify treaty. So that's one. Second, you will be an impeachment judge in case there is an impeachment court. So there should be a person who knows rules of evidence at hindi yung magko-convict ka dahil puso mo, hinawakan mo, sasabihin mo, tingin ko ito ang tama. Mali. Because if a person is elected by millions of people, you have to be careful if you're going to remove him or her. And at the same time, as what we have seen in the case of Corona, he is a distinguished Chief Justice, tapos tinanggal lang ng mga taong wala namang alam sa rules of evidence and sa rules of court dahil lang hinawakan daw nila ang puso nila, sa tingin nila, guilty siya. Napaka-unfair.
So you really want to add more lawyers to Senate?
We should add more lawyers to the Senate kasi lawmaking. Kung lawmaking yan, dapat lawmaker, dapat lawyer, di ba? Sasakay ka ba sa eroplanong hindi pinapatakbo, pinapalipad ng piloto? O magpapa-opera ka ba sa isang tao na hindi doktor? So magtitiwala ka ba sa batas na ginawa ng hindi abogado? Parang may pagdududa doon eh. So we need to bring back the prestige, the honor in the Senate. We have to reclaim the Senate for those people who really know the law.
So let's go to your educational background. UST molded you to become who you are now. In 30 seconds, describe your educational background and experience in UST. Timer starts now.
UST is my second home, actually. UST is the second home to my family. Kasi Tomasians kami. My grandfather, my father, my brothers, my sisters, almost everyone in the family is a Tomasian. So yung Tomasian values nandun, lalo na yung competence, yung commitment, yung compassion, pasok na pasok talaga sa gusto ng pamilya namin. We are a family of devout Catholics, so nandyan papasok yung Catholic teachings, and we are not afraid to say that we stand by the church. So my upbringing in UST, talagang malaki yung effect niya sa akin.
Mukhang malaki nga, including yung base talagang, yung foundation mo na values. Yes. You were also a law intern for former Supreme Court Chief Justice, and now Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin. What was that experience like?
I was an intern in his office nung nasa Court of Appeals pa siya. Hindi siya yung micromanager. He would give you the leeway to do your thing, to do things that you're supposed to do. Pero very sharp. Hindi mo siya maloloko. It's like he would just let you do what you're supposed to do, pero alam niya na, dito. So, talagang strict siya. He is really strict. Na alam din ng alam ng mga estudyante niya, talagang strict siya. Talagang if you fail, you will fail.
Have you stayed in touch with him over the years?
Yes, because he's my godfather in the wedding. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So ngayon you're still in touch with
Yes.
E.S. Bersamin. Why didn't you consider working in the executive department under E.S. Bersamin?
I do not want to use our connection to establish or to work in the government because alam ko hindi yan papasa sa kanya. Mataas ang mataas ang yung he values integrity, no? Hindi porket ka mag-anak ka, kaibigan ka, ipapasok ka niya, no. And alam ko yan. Kaya hindi ko na trinay.
But would you not consider working in the executive department over being a legislator? Like in the future, even not under E.S. Bersamin?
Sa totoo lang, I never saw myself working in the government. It's just that there's really need to first, kailangan ng batas for our advocacy. Lagi kong sinasabi sa mga magulang na hindi na to awareness ang kailangan sa children with special needs and persons with disability. Kailangan natin politikahin yung issue natin kasi hindi tayo pinapakinggan ng government eh. So that's why we need somebody who will stand in the Senate, who knows the law, and who knows how to make laws.
Next experience you had was in journalism. As a journalism graduate, you worked as a writer for magazines and even as a freelance ramp model. In 30 seconds, can you tell us your story, how you got into these two jobs?
When I was in journalism, I was studying in UST. May pumuntang mga talents sa UST. Sa totoo, nag-trip lang kaming magbabarkada. As in, literally, yung parang napanood mo sa movie na nag-trip lang kayo, tapos ikaw yung nakuha. So, kasi...
You mean you auditioned?
Yeah, we auditioned, marami kami. And kasama ko doon, yung mga models din sa ibang colleges. Kasi ang UST, maraming mga models dyan eh. Tatahitahimik lang sila sa gilid. Meron akong estudyante, 4 top models siya. So, maraming mga models, maraming mga talented, creative persons sa UST. Isa ako doon sa mga, nasali sa kanila, okay, nakuha ko, natsambahan.
But your height is fit for modeling. You're 6'4".
Yes.
So, paano mong na-resist yung temptation na maging full-time model instead of pursuing law school?
From the start talaga na academics kasi kami. Sabi ko nga, sa family, we're a family of lawyers and teachers. So from the start, talagang pinupukpok kami na academics ang importante, education is very important kasi yan lang talaga yung konkretong may papamana sa amin ng aming pamilya. So, okay, maganda ang modeling. The pay is good, the exposure is good. But at the end of the day, mas malaking impact kung ikaw ay nakapagtapos at may natapos. So you can also spread education. Kaya hindi malayo sa akin na naging lawyer kasi yung influence ng grandfather ko. And then yung grandmother ko naman is a public school teacher. So malaki ang influence niya sa amin. That's why our family, puro lawyers and puro teachers kami.
And as a model ba, kinailangan mo lagi mag-smile? Or yan ba yung dad ko, my dad's also a lawyer, sabi niya, bakit mga models mo malungkot? Pag nag-ramp daw, nakasimangot.
Hindi ko lang maintindihan kasi you have to project that you are may dating. Hindi naman kami sinasabihan. Siguro pagkadating doon, talagang may sasabihin lang ka, you look at the people, you have to make an impression. So, but maybe, I don't know, pag nasa ramp ka na.
So are you the smiling or what do they call, pouting type of model?
I'm the pouting type of person, actually. Even
as a person, talagang hindi ka masyadong masmile.
Yes, oo. Kasi hindi naman talaga ako people person. Sa totoo lang, let's be honest. I'm not a people person. It's just that I have my own world. Sabi ko nga, I'm a very boring person. I'm a vanilla. I'm really a vanilla.
Plain vanilla talaga.
Plain vanilla talaga. I don't like the shebangs, I don't like the lights, etc. It's just that kapag may nakita ko, I really need to fix it.
Yeah. And hindi ka nahihirapan as a aspiring senatorial candidate. It's part of being a politician that you have to be a people person.
Kung kailangan mong gawin. Sabi ko nga, I'm a handyman at home. I do not like, the hammer and the nails and the tools, etc. But if I have to do it, para lang walang stranger na papasok sa bahay ko, I'd rather do it.
And just to go back to your modeling experience, anong mga brands yung minomodel mo back then?
Mostly sa Sony Philippines ako connected. Because it was an audition for Sony Top Model. And
Sony.
then,
So would you remember anong clothes yung kailangan nyo i-model?
at that time, we were tasked, I think we used bench and then, no, I think pen shop. It's pen shop.
Okay.
And then there's this gel that they had to use on us. But mainly, it's more of the Sony Philippines. We have to endorse the Sony Walkman. And
Mga gadgets din.
Mga gadgets.
Interesting. Okay, so now, let's talk about the De Alban Law Office. You are managing De Alban Law Office. In 30 seconds, tell us how challenging it is to run your own law firm. And can you tell us about some of the high-profile cases that you've handled? Timer starts now.
Yung law office namin was established by my grandfather in 1934. No? Wow. So he was a lawyer and then minana siya ng father ko and then ng mga kapatid niya. Yung kapatid kasi ng father ko, 7 sila lahat. No? Actually, 8 sila lahat. 7 of them are lawyers. Yung isa, PhD. No? So, ako na yung first generation namin. So naturally, since medyo matatanda na sila, in fact, unfortunately, kahapon namatay yung isa sa kanila. So ako na yung nagmamanage nun. But they still handle advisory. Mahirap kasi hindi naman kami yung tipong full-blown like Makati or BGC type na the limousine. We cater to the underprivileged. We cater to the basureros, to the usual litigation and family law, family cases.
Did you ever think about changing the scope of your work, meaning to cater to more high-profile / wealthy clients to make the law firm grow?
I don't think so. Not until siguro the next generation. Kasi I'm the type of person na I will continue what is good. So we've been doing it since 1934. We've been helping people since 1934. And God is good to us. Nabibigyan naman kami ng income in other forms, no? Like I teach in UST, so that's partly may income ako doon. I have a small business, may income din ako doon. So maybe yung sense of contentment ko is grounded on the fact that we have basic values for commitment and service. So wala kaming balak mag-extend, hanggang ako ang nagmamanage. I do not know sa next generation.
And let's go to the special needs advocacy that you've had since 2008. You co-founded St. Philomena School, which is a school for children with special needs. In 30 seconds, can you tell us the reason why you got into this advocacy? Tsaka why specifically children with special needs? Timer starts now.
When my brother and sister-in-law, si Teacher Al and Teacher Kim, established it in 2008 together with us, kami yung pinakauna sa Bulacan na private school offering it na recognized ng DepEd. So in 2008, we were so happy that we were the first. Di ba kapag ikaw ang first sa isang bagay, masaya ka, di ba? And then we realized we were the first in 2008. So the realization, it dawned on us, before this, what happened to them?
Yung mga special needs ba na pinag-uusapan nyo dito, it includes autism?
Yes, that's it. Autism.
Yung mga nasa spectrum?
Yes.
So pagka dati, 2008, wala masyadong schools talaga na
Walang
nagpo-provide ng
DepEd
services?
recognized na school providing special education. We were the first. So nag-umpisa kami sa less than 10 na students. Ngayon, we've grown to 90. No?
And yung rates nyo ba, you make it affordable
Very
for
affordable
families?
actually. Sa sobrang affordable nga, walang yumaman sa amin because of that. Kasi yung iba nga hindi pa nakakabayad. And we understand kasi ang hirap ng buhay ng pamilya na may special needs yung anak mo. Napakahirap kasi therapy na lang, napakamahal.
Yeah, that's true.
Assessment, napakamahal. Ako meron akong pamangkin. Meron siyang cerebral palsy and autism. So that's double. Ang therapy niya alone, napakamahal. 3,500, 1 session. Ilang beses siya sa 1 week na nagte-therapy. Ako yung sumasagot nun.
Yeah.
Yung special education aspect sa side ng school namin.
Yeah.
Paano pa kaya yung mga taong nasa laylayan?
Yeah, I agree. I actually have a niece also that has special needs because she's in the spectrum. My sister is saying to me that talagang magastos nga with all the therapies. And I had this conversation just last week with a friend who was telling me na yun dun siya nahihirapan sa gastos nga. Yung son nila also has autism and the expenses lang daw talaga is just too much. So would you advocate for this if you make it to Senate?
Yes.
To make it also subsidized by government or make it like a part of the DepEd
No,
schools?
I really want to create a Department of disabilities. I really want to create a Department of Disabilities. Why? Our number has grown exponentially. Yung number sa NCDA, hindi yan accurate. Kasi I've been around the country, people have been consulting us, hindi sila diagnosed, wala silang assessment. So yung number ng NCDA na 5 million, hindi lang yan yun. Kasama pa dyan yung may epilepsy, kasama pa dyan yung may cerebral, hindi pa kasama dyan yung cerebral palsy. Ang dami. Ang NCDA is just a policy-making body. Wala silang regulatory, wala silang regular budget. I want to create a department that has annual budget with regulatory powers. Why? Ang Philippines is not an accessibility-friendly country.
But why not just put this under the mandate of the Department of Health and then when it comes to education, include it in the programs of DepEd? Because the same problem that we have with bureaucracy and the cost to the government of having another department might be too cumbersome.
I understand that, but you have to realize that these parents, these people are taxpayers too. Ang laki na binabayaran nila. Napakamahal ng VAT pag bumili ka ng customized strollers, yung mga education. So bakit natin sila kinukuripot? If the government can actually add 300 billion overnight sa infrastructure, that means may perang government. Diba? Yan ang issue natin sa GAA ngayon. Yung 800 billion sa infrastructure, nung pinasa sa Malacanang, ano nangyari? Naging 1.1 trillion. So that means may 300 billion pala tayo na pwedeng idagdag. Sa infrastructure pa lang yan. In other words, ang sinasabi ko is that bakit natin kinukuripot sila? Now, as far as the bureaucracy is concerned, gusto ko nga pong tanggalin yun eh. Kasi ang NCDA po ngayon is just an attached government sa DSWD. Anong nangyayari? Yung decision ng executive director, ipapasa mo pa sa board, sa NCDA board, na nandyan ang DOH, DTI, DOJ, DSWD, etc. So, pagdating, nawawala na. Ang gusto ko, meron tayong dedicated na cabinet-level department para sa may mga disabilities. Remember, ang disability is not just apparent. It also involves non-apparent. At magkakaiba po ang interest ng bulag, ng amputee, ng deaf and mute, ng may autism, etc.
So talagang lahat ng disabilities, you'll just cover it under one department?
Yes, under one
for their
department.
concerns.
Kasi dapat they have a dedicated service para meron silang access sa therapy, sa livelihood programs. Hindi nagmamakaawa itong mga to, ha? Hindi sila nagmamakaawa. They are willing to work for their children. Sa ibang bansa, sa Australia, pag ang magulang nag-aalaga sa kanyang child with special needs or disability, may allowance siya from the government.
Okay.
So bakit wala dito?
You ran for Senate in 2019, but COMELEC at the time declared you a nuisance candidate. Can you tell us in 30 seconds how that experience was and what it taught you about politics in the Philippines? Timer starts now.
To be honest, no, I was depressed na nakita ko yung frustration sa system na ang COMELEC lang pala can really gatekeep yung mga tumatakbo na may magagandang projects. Hindi naman sa tinataas ko yung bangko ko, di ba? Pero sinasabi nila na sana iba naman ang iboto ninyo. Pero nung may tumakbo na iba, hindi nyo patatakbohin. Isa akong lawyer and a teacher. Yun ang reason nila kung bakit nila ako dinisqualify. Simply because I was just a lawyer and a teacher. Supreme Court na nagsabi na hindi yan ground to disqualify a person. In fact, lawyer should be the one making the law, di ba? Bakit mo i-disqualify simply because hindi ako sumasayaw, hindi ako popular?
So nasa rules ba yun na COMELEC regulations that you have to show financial capacity to run a national campaign?
Nasa resolution nila yon, nasa rules and regulation nila yon. Sabi ng Supreme Court, it should not be a ground kasi financial incapacity is not a ground to disqualify a person.
So at least that has been resolved. Now, pwede ka nang tumakbo and it's no longer a bar for your ability to run. That's why you were able to run 2025.
Yes. Unfortunately, medyo na-delay lang na konti yung resolution, decision ng Supreme Court, but kahit papano nakatulong ng malaki kasi I can now tell people, I actually encourage people, uy, tumakbo ka. Hindi, wala kaming pera. Tingnan mo, may decision ako. You know, you're a lawyer. Tumakbo ka ganito. You can serve the people.
So at least you paved the way for other independent candidates.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Thank you so much, Attorney De Alban. And